Welcome back to the Titanium Hanger. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's going to have a great weekend this weekend. And today I'm back to talk about Masterpiece Transformers. This is a conceptual video, but it actually is hitting real life. But do you want new characters? Is collecting Transformers something that, you know what, I've got 100 different characters, but I'm looking forward to the next 27 that they just made up last week, and I want those in Masterpiece form. Now, it's much deeper than how I'm presenting it right now. We've seen this in many different iterations, whether you're getting an old character with a new skin and looking different and all of that, or we're getting just brand new characters with all new names, but something new sort of popped up just recently, Movie 7 Masterpiece. So we're going to talk about all of this and more coming up. Alright, so starting out, I hear this a lot, and yes, this is a Legends picture. It's the easiest picture to get all these characters together in one. But I hear people say, I just want to finish Season 1 and 2, and I'm done. That's all I want. Season 1 and 2, Masterpiece. And I hear people say, well, I want 1, 2, and 3. I want 1, 2, 3, and some of 4. I want 1 and 2, skip 3, go to 4. It's interesting how people collect, but most of those people aren't saying, give me something new. I want a character that just got thought of in 2023. I want a character that's brand new for 2025. But there's other people out there that are clamoring for new characters. And I do find that it's not usually the G1ers. It's a lot of the people that actually are anti-G1. And it's kind of strange that you'd have Transformer collectors that are anti-G1. But we're going to get into this. So this is kind of building on a foundation of expectation. At some point, all characters were new characters. In 1986, we got introduced to the movie cast, and we had no idea who they were, didn't really even know any history about them, and I want to say this with this picture in front of me right now, that I never ever thought I would feel more like Cup and less like Hot Rod, but I think I've always felt that way. Tell you the truth. I feel more like Cup, and I kind of admire Cup and all of his traits, and a lot less like Hot Rod, and I still probably feel more like Cup than Rodimus. Anyhow, do you even still, to this day, feel like these are the new guys on the block? The new kids on the block? The first concept of new characters comes into play when you're looking at 2007, the movie. Now, I'm not getting into all the other eras. We can get into all the other eras. That would give you another 500 examples. I'm going to start with this. These are characters that were already existing characters from G1 that were transformed, to say the least, when the live-action movies came along. And these are new iterations, but of the same characters. They just are different-looking versions of the same characters, and they have been heavily embraced. They've gotten multiple iterations, and they've gotten Masterpiece. So really, there's not a question about whether or not just a new take on an old character is accepted. It seems to always be accepted. Now, in some cases, some of the new characters look really cool. So in some cases, some of the characters don't really feel like they even pay homage to the original character. Like Devastator. But maybe that's what they weren't going for. Well, hashtag not your Devastator. Hashtag is your Devastator. Now, the live-action movies actually brought along new characters for the ride, not just reinventing old ones. They brought new characters. And this has been going on all along. And again, we could go back into Armada, RID, all those eras, find new characters. That's kind of how this has been going. And it's going to go like this going forward into the future. But looking at this Autobot Skids Mudflap, the ice cream truck of theirs, and is this something that collectors want to be made into Masterpiece? Is there even a company trying to make these? In the Masterpiece scale, I'm familiar with the Unique Toys R07 Dumber, like Dumber and Dumber, but it's only 4.72 inches. So I wouldn't even call that Masterpiece scale at 5 inches, but Would it be considered masterpiece scale? Is it considered legend scale? Show Z considers it masterpiece scale because they're smaller bots. But this is not the ice cream truck one. This is, I guess, the first iteration. Now, one of the characters, or actually several of the characters from IDW, which I seriously I'm not up on all that. But this is the IFO2 Stray First Edition Drift. Wildly popular. Sells out fast. People love this figure and this character. And with that, I mean, it's a new character that's come since the G1 era, but he's kind of got a history, been around for a while from the IDW comics. But with that, I think the first one they made that was a smashing hit was Tarn. So MMC made this Tarn and recolored it several different times. I wasn't able to keep up with everything that was done with this, but I think that also came and they did some different things. Anyway, it is a cool looking figure, and I'm actually interested in getting this, but I think I might go the route with picking it up in the Yellow Park, a little bit cheaper, doesn't transform, kind of fun that route, but you have to put it together. Just a little bit of putting together, not a lot. Here's the alt mode. I'll throw that in there real quick. Now, the alt modes are going to look different than stuff we've seen. If you're G1er, then this might not be in your wheelhouse. I don't own any Tarns at all. Tarn it, I don't own any Tarns. And with that, I'm considering buying one just because it's so wildly popular and I've seen so many different iterations of it, even though I really have no connection to the character. Which starts to get to where, do I need it? Am I buying something I don't need? Here's a few more that were made by MMC and very, very popular. Senator Ratbat. Senator Ratbat in the comics was a big deal from my understanding, what I've heard. And I haven't read it, but I've heard. And people say that he was even the leader. And a lot of great things that he's accomplished. People love this figure. They love this character. And it's quite interesting that the original G1 Ratbat is still pretty awesome. This one's called R43 Moors or Helix. Now, I think we're getting into wreckers, but I can't speak to all of that. I guess I should look up and research all that kind of stuff, but I don't intend on buying any of these, not even to review, but they do look cool. I do appreciate the aesthetics of them, the look of them, and I also watch a couple of reviews here and there just to see what's going on with them. This was R44 Tortor Tessaurus. Anyway, it's another one that's interesting looking. Another one that people love. They love this figure. They're excited that it's getting made. And this is kind of one of those things. This is why third party is so important. MMC's taking this on. It's not like they're competing with Fans Toys and X-Transbots. You're not going to see hardly anything Fans Toys and X-Transbots in this video because of the fact that they're not touching this stuff. I mean, X-Transbots maybe dabbles in it a little bit with repaints. But for the most part, Fans Toys and X-Transbots are trying to satisfy the G1 collectors. Here's that dude's alt mode for what it is. It kind of feels like a beefed up Auto Scout in a way, like one of the cassettes, the Auto Scout cassette, but beefed up in its own right. But also looks like a vehicle that you could put in your Dune collection. So there's always that. Porter. This one here is a repaint to Shattered Glass Nemo Chrome Dome, and this looks cool. I mean, I see these designs, but since I have no attachment to it, it's not like these bring me joy in any way. They're still really cool looking, and I do know a lot of people that got joy from this figure. They were excited it was getting made, and it's a cool looking figure, and it's kind of like a Joker looking figure. In a way, I believe to be a new character. I don't remember seeing this in any of my catalogs, my G1 catalogs, but it's pretty cool. This is Joker Mobile. Now, we could kind of sit here and talk about masterpiece versions of this, and I think Fans Hobby does a lot, but we're getting more into the conceptual side of things here. Now, Earthspark made Deluxe Thrash. I personally believe since Earthspark was targeting children of right now, or just 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever, that adults, there's not enough adult collectors that would drop $100 on an Earthspark Thrash. That's my belief. What's your belief on this? Is this something, how many people out there would be clamoring for this? How many would really, really want this, spend $100 on a thrash. Now, I don't even know one line that he's spoken from the show. I watched about 2 episodes. I just don't really remember it. And I think we all know Nightshade, and I don't think Nightshade is a bad design. It's an interesting design. Some of these designs are kind of cool, but I'm gonna go back to like the way I feel about Transformers 1 characters. The legs are just too darn long, and I don't know why that's the direction they're going for the kid stuff. Maybe is that what's trending for children right now of a certain age group, to make extremely tiny torsos and extremely long legs? Is that trending? And is it like, oh, we don't want old fogey G1 stuff that looks like human proportions. We want it to be non-humanoid proportions. Do you want a Nightshade in Masterpiece scale for $100? Now, one thing I'm going to almost guarantee will never happen. We are never going to see these crossovers that Hasbro's doing, and they're doing a lot of them. I mean, there's a Monster Hunter and then Sonic, and it's getting to be like they are having fun with the dartboard and hitting any franchise they can hit just to make some sort of crossover. Now, this is cool in its own right, and there's people ecstatic to get the Sonic one, but I don't see any third-party company making a Masterpiece version of this at all. Now, I want to touch back on not just brand new characters, but reimagined characters. And as we know, there's no limit to the amount of Optimus Primes that they're going to make. It's limitless. It seems like we've maxed out at the limit of wheelies that are going to be made. There's 2 Masterpiece wheelies out there, and that's it. Now, nobody else is going to take it on. But we're never going to max out on Optimus Primes. Now, I'm starting to wonder how many iterations of Wheeljack we're going to get. I mean, are people clamoring to get this guy in Masterpiece scale? And I'm guessing the answer to that is no. Am I right? Am I right? So there's a new third-party company on the scene, Movie 7. We've seen this stuff, like not even prototypes yet. We're now seeing what I guess is prototypes. Maybe it's still renders. But Movie Mirage, this is not what I would think of as Mirage. But here's the thing. How accepting are you to get a Masterpiece version of Mirage from the movie, the live-action movie, where he doesn't even have the right alt mode? He's got Jazz's alt mode. I mean, it's starting to get into, do we want Masterpiece iterations of these? It will be interesting to see how well this Movie 7 stuff sells. And I'll talk more about this in my news, because I don't really want to spend all my video talking about these. But another company is emerging, making these characters, which is interesting, to say the least. But the other thing, the Rise of the Beast stuff here that's going on, the other thing is that these companies, they're not coming out of nowhere. They're all connected in some way, shape, or form. So I'm curious to see what connection this Movie 7 has. That's their name, Movie 7, has to any other company that's out there. Now, I do want to touch on something else, and it does fall into the limitless number of Optimus Primes. Is it technically a new character? Because we got this Lunar Prime, which is a lunar probe that turns into an Optimus Prime-ish-esque. It was never in the media. It was just a thought of, hey, what if we made him turn into a lunar rover? And that's a cool idea. And I own this. I bought this. I reviewed it because it was Optimus Prime. The star power of Optimus Prime. I also picked it up because I thought this is something that is just so odd and wacky and out there. There's one more thing, and I've shown it now 11 times. I don't know, probably 5. But I would definitely, and don't be offended. Before I show this picture, I have to do a disclaimer. Do not get offended. I'm not trying to offend anyone. I'm not trying to, disgrace anyone. Rest in peace, all that kind of stuff. But Decepticon Imploder, I would be all board. I'd be on board with buying one of these if this was real. This is a mock-up. Somebody did a mock-up. There's not a real toy, but I would definitely be on board if somebody truly made a transforming version of this. That would be interesting. And it would, I would say, commemorate the people that lost their lives in that. And I would be all on board with that. But most people feel like something like this would never happen. But I actually think this would happen before we get an official Leader 1 from GoBots. Why does this not exist? How come I can't put a full-scale Leader 1 next to Optimus Prime? Why can't I get one Leader 1 in Masterpiece scale to put next to all 7 of my Masterpiece scale Optimus Primes? Why can't I get a true blue Masterpiece Psycho, which we did see that Action Robo Deluxe that is close to Masterpiece scale, probably as close as it'll ever get. How come we can't get this? Oh, the only way to do it, this dude 3D printed it. and he for himself, and is like, I'm not doing this for nobody else, it's just for me. Just for me. But he did a fantastic job. Proof of concept that it can humanly be done. Humans could make this. It's possible. We have the technology. All right, so how on board are you with buying Masterpiece iterations of brand new characters they just thought up last week, or 7 minutes ago, or 2022? I'm not excited for that. I still want to fill the holes and gaps, and I'm more excited for Omnibots, and I'm more excited for getting the characters from the G1 era or the G1 toys in Masterpiece representation that I don't already have. I'm a little excited about upgrading a handful, like 5. I would be excited for upgrading. But getting brand new characters that mean absolutely nothing to me and spending $100 to $250 on them doesn't really sound exciting to me. But does that sound exciting to you? Let me know in the comments below. And do some of these mean a lot to you? Sound off. Tidy Hang around.